Because the money was scattered at different and both yourself and your family by your back tomorrow. This message comes from the Mina Mr. Bangura of Trio Construction Company. Nassit Sim Papa for register and pay Nassit for all you command them. Even to I mean, no register for join Nassit and give me the social security.
As for me, I will keep me picking a birth certificate and a marriage certificate for claiming benefits from Nassit my bank.
And they always teach me where from picking them. And they pay 15% every month for me command them to 19%. When I bought them in last year, I won't go Nassit to earn Independence Day. Register for join Nassit today for good extra. Nassit, we care. Nassit about their status, such as whether their past services have been validated. Prepare to start there with the Nassit 2024 Plus with benefits on and paid full time. Nassit, we get you know the fun. All you already know, that's not because you don't want it here.
Good morning once again. I ask that we as a bank try to do better on please. And Councillor Corps, members of the House of Parliament, our foreign guests present, Director General, Management and staff of Nassit, distinguished ladies and gentlemen.
Alhamdulillah. أحييكم تحية طيبة تحية طيبة مباركة لهذه الحفلة الكريمة. نائب رئيس الجمهورية عندي وزير للعمل. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. We enjoy with them for the time of the needy people there, which is admire for this occasion. And I come personally for their seat. Sometimes the occasions will be send the people there, but I prefer myself for their come or can see this occasion because it is the rain. تقيلنا إلى بعيد يتزاحمنا أمعاد ملكته أمرنا إن لم يكن بك غضب علينا فلا نبالي وسألوه عليه أمر الدنيا والآخرة من أن ينزل بنا غضب أو يحيل علينا سخط فلك أطلسين وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين. فاتح. أعوذ بالله. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. آمين.
You have provided us here this morning and for going forward. May I now please call on Reverend Pewa.
Morning, my dear brothers and sisters. I greet you all in the precious name of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Friends, the Word of God teaches us that as long as we continue to have life in our body. Solomon writes in Ecclesiastes 12, verse 1 to 3, remember now your Creator in the days of your youth. Then, while the sun and the light, the moon and the stars are not darkened, and the clouds do not return after strong men bow down when the grinders cease because they are few. And those that look through the windows, we face physical frailties and weaknesses. But even in these conditions, we have the promise, 6 verse 4, even to your old age, I am He, and even to great, and I will bear you. Even I will carry and will deliver you. National Social Security and Insurance Trust to provide us this assurance and massive work going on in the Victoria Park Market Complex. It gives me hope to be with you. Heavenly Father, we thank you for giving hope to our future and for keeping it alive through Nassit. We want to especially thank the great visionary, Dr. Ahmad Tijan Kaba. Let's continue to be long, healthy, strong, full of courage and confidence. In the name of Jesus, provide strength. In their sickness, be their healer. In their love, feed us and widows. May you continue to be the father to the fatherless, and husband or wife to the mighty name of Jesus. I pray with thanksgiving. Amen.
Honorable Dr. Mohammed Judijalo, Honorable Minister of Labor and Social Security, Honorable Usman Timbo, the Chairman Board of Trustees of Nassit, Professor Lawrence Kumara, the Director General of Nassit, our distinguished guests from across Africa, our membership, Nassit members and staff, good morning. The captainship of this voyage has a wealth and worthy experience in the business that he does. Our chairman for today's occasion has 34 years working experience, and he is an accomplished visionary with extensive experience in general management, accounting, financial management, sales, customer care, operations, strategic planning, marketing, and business development. He is an epitome of an accomplished professional. He holds a master's degree in business administration and also graduated as a financial administrator of the Chartered Institute of Secretaries and Administrators. He is a certified international business leader. As such, he holds the following positions at the moment. A chairman is a multiple chairman for several organizations. He's the chairman of the Sierra Leone Employers Federation. He's the chairman of the board for the First Bank of Nigeria in Sierra Leone. He's the chairman of NP Ivory Coast. He's the deputy chairman of NP Liberia. He's the director of various companies in and out of Sierra Leone that I don't want to name here all. As we speak, he's the member of the Nassit Board of Trustees, and he is the chief executive officer of MP Sierra Leone. Ladies and gentlemen, our chairman is Mr. Kobe Walker.
But when all is said and done, I am just Kobe Walker, a Man United supporter of the Republic of Sierra Leone, the Minister of Labor, Cabinet Ministers, representatives from sister institutions in the African region, chairman and trustees of Nassit, chairman and members of Employers Federation, President, Sierra Leone Labour Congress, distinguished guests, employers, our venerated members of Nassit, members of the Fourth Estate, good morning. I am singularly enthralled to congratulate all of us on completing the 20 years or 175,316 hours milestone of the Trust. Our collective contributions to the Trust have been valuable throughout the years, for which I say happy anniversary to all of us. And I strongly believe at this time we must sing lustily the happy birthday song for our dear Nassit. Happy birthday to us. Happy birthday to us. Happy birthday, dear Nassit. Happy birthday to us. Hip, hip, hip. Hooray. Hip, hip, hip. Hooray. Good digitalization for national development is quite apt, considering the world's desire to embrace the new normal. The objectives of this conference, as articulated by management of the Trust, are to update membership on the current status of the scheme as it relates to the fundamental issues of membership, benefits, and fund management. 2, to stimulate dialogue and feedback from members on a variety of issues for incorporation in the Trustee's strategic planning process. And 3, to establish a forum for sharing views and experiences with sisters institutions in the African region and beyond. Mr. Vice President, sir, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, at this juncture, one is tempted to ask, what do STEAM, science, digital technology have in common? Well, these are the first 3 industrial revolutions that transformed our modern society. With each of these advancements, the steam engine, the age of science and mass production, and the rise of digital technology, the world around us changed fundamentally. And right now, it's happening again for a 4th time. And so here we are, all of us together, poised at the beginning of the 4th industrial revolution. But this time, the revolution is powered by cloud, social media, the Internet of Things, IoT, the artificial intelligence, AI, along with increasing computing power and data. As you may all agree with me, that each of these 3 industrial revolutions presented profound change, and indeed Nassit is appropriating digitalization in the management of the membership scheme. Please follow me as I take you through the very impressive effort Nassit has made and continue to register for visibility and transparency in the management of the Trust's affairs. Firstly, registration. Nassit maintains a biometric registration system for all its members, establishments, and pensioners. Secondly, contributions. All contributions of members are updated on the systems and can be accessible from all their offices within minutes. Payment and collection of contribution is now fast, transparent, reliable through the use of financial technology. Thirdly, benefits. Nassit controls an automated benefit calculator for all the 6 types of benefits. The system uses artificial intelligence to segment beneficiaries by category for easy processing. Records. From manual and paper form in the 2000s to digital, Nassit uses a digitized system to keep records of all information, including transactions, registrations, compliance, status, etc., etc. Compliance. Just like an early warning system, Nassit has employed sophisticated system to monitor transactions with regards to compliance. Investment. All Nassit investments nationwide are thoroughly controlled and monitored by less human intervention and more computerized systems. Indeed, it is edifying to mention here that Nassit is the first institution in Sierra Leone to have a separate division for systems and technology. Systems and Technology Division is part of the 11 divisions in the institution's organizational structure. Furthermore, the use of Nassit's electronic operator interface, the EOI, web-based pension administration system, is a laudable investment that is worth celebrating. Even for the staff at Nassit, the daily attendance registers and logins are automated and computer assisted. All laurels must be given to the government for providing the pathway to the 4th industrial revolution. When the government launched the Directorate of Science and Technology and Innovation, DSTI, in 2018, it started its journey to transform Sierra Leone into a hub for innovation and entrepreneurship. Under the leadership of His Excellency the President, retired Brigadier Julius Maada Bio, a 10-year National Innovation and Digital Strategy, NIDS, from 2019 to 2029, aimed at guiding Sierra Leone's investments, policies, and governance framework for the country's present and future development, was introduced with an ambitious and feasible vision that will chart how the government, development partners, and the citizens can use science, technology, and innovation to achieve the National Development Plan, the African Union's Agenda 2063, and the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development Goals. As Nassit has employed digitalization impressively, Sierra Leone needs digital transformation in a key number of industries for socio-economic development, such as agriculture, tourism, electricity, transportation, education, etc., etc., because it has the potential to transform Sierra Leone into Africa's next high-performing economy and to bring up the living standards of all Sierra Leonean citizens over the coming decades. In conclusion, therefore, I am pretty sure that this year's membership conference will be insightful, interactive, and intentional. On that note, I thank you very much. May God bless us all abundantly and bless this land that we so love, our Sierra Leone. Thank you very much. And the next item On the program is documentary screening. Nassit, are we all set? Okay, they're trying to get the projector on. Whilst they're doing that, again, I want to publicly appreciate the leadership of Nassit for their determination, their doggedness, their ruthless focus, and their ability to brutally execute investment plans and programs on all of our behalf. And again, I want to inform you all that I am a new pensioner and Nassit is paying me quicker than my employers are. Let's clap for Nassit. Institutions in Sierra Leone should take time out to study the strategy, the approach Nassit is using to govern pensioners' fund. And to today's gathering, I am honored to introduce the Deputy Director General, Mr. Banda, to make a statement.
Your Excellency, Dr. Mohamed Judah Jallo, the Vice President of the Republic of Sierra Leone, our Minister of Labor and Social Security, our Deputy Minister of Labor and Social Security, the international delegate, which I would like to single out here, Mr. Ahmed Bamba from ISA, he is the Regional Coordinator for West Africa based in Abidjan. Dr. John Ofori Tenkura is the Director General of SNIT in Ghana. Dr. Francis Sapara Grant, the CEO of Oblico Pensions in Ghana, in charge of the informal sector. Board of Trustees, management and staff of Nassit, distinguished guests, participants, I bid you a warm good morning. We have converged here this morning on the invitation of Nassit to witness and participate in our National Members Conference, an event that clamors the Trust 20th anniversary celebrations. This year make Nassit 20 years old. This conference serves as a forum where the Trust interfaces with the stakeholders in the sense, the members of the scheme, to update them on progress made so far and to recognize their valuable contributions to the sustainability of the scheme administered by Nassit. Valuable contributions in the sense that without them registering with the scheme, without them ensuring timely remittance of social security contributions and data management that originate from them, the scheme will be bound to fail. So we are here this morning to recognize their valuable contributions. The theme for this year's celebration, that is the 20th anniversary, as stated, is improving efficiency through digitalization for national development. This theme was carved by our ingenious Director General, the CEO, Mr. Mohamed Dabo, and management to demonstrate our unflinching desire to transform Nassit to enable it to compete on the global stage. The global stage in the sense that Nassit is a member of ISA. ISA is International Social Security Association worldwide. As an organization, we are humbled and proud of the stunning achievement we have been able to record over the years. It is no gainsaying that all stakeholders, including supervisors, law enforcers, and members, have played significant and substantial role in the development and sustainability of the scheme. This achievement couldn't have been attained without the sense of resilience, fortitude, and high degree of unflagging devotion to duty by management and staff and other stakeholders of the scheme. As the Latin phrase put it, Grandes cont anta labori. That means work hard, all things increase and grow. Mr. Chairman, it is indeed a great honor and pleasure to stand before this August gathering to welcome you all to this 2 days members conference. Your presence here this morning is worthy and commendable. At this juncture, Mr. Chairman, it is my singular honor and pleasure to, on behalf of the board, management, and staff of Nassit, and with every fiber of humility and candor, extend special warm welcome to Her Excellency the Vice President, Dr. Mohamed Julius Jabo, leaving your busy schedule to graciously and this conference, to attend this conference and deliver the keynote address. Your presence here this morning is a sound testament of His Excellency retired Brigadier Dr. Julius Mada Wonibio, the President of the Republic of Sierra Leone, exemplary resolve and desire to change the course of history in this beloved country. Your Excellency, sir, a hearty welcome to you. With your gracious leave, Your Excellency, sir, let me now direct my attention to our erudite, sleepless nights, just to make sure that Nassit is in tune with the development aspirations of your new direction government agenda. There is something also unique about this gentleman. 20 years ago, somewhere in this town, in this country, he was part of the team that launched this scheme, the establishment of this scheme. Today, again, is here also to grace the 20th anniversary of the same scheme. Thank you and welcome, Mr. Learned Minister. To our guests, particularly those who have traveled from the International Social Security Administration and sister security organizations that I've named earlier, to grace this occasion, we are extremely pleased and gratified to welcome you to a land that has been described as one of the most peaceful lands in Africa. Your presence with us is a source of great joy and comfort, and we look forward to sharing some incredible moments together. To our enduring and esteemed members, I normally refer them as shareholders of this business. We are nothing without you. Thanks for being proud customers of our unique and ever-expanding national pension scheme. This conference is for you, and we are honored to have you with us, as you are the motivation to do better. We are confident that after the conference, we'll be more determined to collaborate with a clear understanding of our various roles and responsibilities in enhancing the national pension scheme administered by Nassit. Social Security, as has been declared by ILO Convention 102 so many years back, is a human rights issue. So it borders on our very existence. The success of the scheme is our collective responsibility if prosperity is to judge us right. Again, as the Latin action says, Vini, Vidi, Vici. We came, we saw, we conquered. Finally, Mr. Chairman, let me welcome everybody present here this morning. Thank you for coming. I wish all of us every success during our deliberations. Thank you.
He is always with us. He's a fantastic. Agreed to turn around so that all of us.
The Nassit is 20, and how has it been so far? We thank God for His special grace for having Nassit to have clocked 20 years. And I also want to thank the Office of His Excellency, late Ahmed Nankara, and his team to have had the courage to establish a scheme like this that is purposely meant for the workers of this country. And of course, to provide dignity for those citizens that have served us, they have given their lives, and they have also given their time for what we are doing today. I thank the grace of God.
But the combined introduced social security in Sierra Leone when most Sierra Leoneans don't even understand or appreciate what social security is. The staff that were recruited at the time were enthusiastic but also lacked the knowledge of how to operate a social security scheme. In 2006-2007 was when we did the first actual evaluation. The actual evaluation is to determine the financial soundness of the scheme. And that's very critical because it tells you that in a 20-year equilibrium, you should be able to pay benefits and other related expenses to the scheme, which is what I think has been achieved.
Nassit surprised me a lot. It surprised me because I was one of those controversial beings. I was really criticizing Nassit. When I retired on Saturday, I was told that everything was okay, that I should go for my package. That was 11 days after the 29th.
From January to date, we've processed over 1,000 files, retirement and survival benefit claims. Now, the beauty about this is that we've increased the number of files that we processed because of the vigorous monitoring.
The series of interventions we have made, the center of all of that is our customers. The customers are in the center of everything we do. Those people have worked so hard. They are senior citizens of this country. Imagine receiving 15,000 euros per month. That's the only income he has. And now it has been transformed, it has been shifted, increased from 50,000 to 250,000. I cannot imagine that.
From 2004, I mean, it take 9 years as pension, take go 31,000. But when President Bio came to power, it didn't fit and say it's like all pensioners are forget 250,000.
Recently, I noticed they have increased our pension. They have done well because that is the essence of the scheme. You have to ensure that the pensioners maintain the minimum standard of life as a pensioner, not as a worker. Because the essence of the pension is not to take you to where you are when you are an active worker, but at least to make sure you maintain the basic decency of life.
Nassit cares. This has been declared invalid. And they have, in one way or the other, contributed to society. So they should not be neglected. He's not earning anymore because he's no longer working. He's still within the working age, but he cannot go to work anymore. That's because he hasn't got a job, or not because he cannot find a job, it's because he cannot do the job because of invalidity. He was declared invalid some 2 years ago, and after every 2 years, the medical board would have to reassess him to see whether he has improved, whether his condition is the same or he has deteriorated.
The leadership of our staff visited us at the office, and we had these discussions with them that they want us to be able to resolve the challenges pertaining to Nassit scheme with their members. Thereafter, we sat together. There was a committee we formed, including Nassit and our staff members. And then we agreed to have a nationwide sensitization program for all time. Our establishment gives us the empowerment to register members and collect contributions, and to pay benefits as and when the contingencies occur to the right person, right time, and right amount. We can only do that with clean data.
You see, over the period we have been having problems actually in relation to Nassit. Our guys over the period have not been happy with how the operations of Nassit in relation to the armed forces. A lot of problems, the key among them actually have been the inconsistencies, discrepancies in our data and personnel data, i.e. ages, names, etc., etc. But with the engagement now, I hope our guys will be able to understand well what to do and what not to do. What sort of information they are supposed to give to Nassit, or perhaps even our personnel center or even the SCRA.
There have been series of problems. Problems like mismatch of names, problems like the Nassit number, mismatch of Nassit numbers. I've been there, as I told you, and I know the problems we've been experiencing. And the way, before this time, I think it was difficult actually, but seeing this team today, I think is a right step to the right direction for us to make all those things come to pass. like the mismatch of genes, I believe the coming of this team will go and settle or make sure they solve those problems.
We realize that the genetic information is not deep down where the knowledge of people. So we approach it sectorially. We have done with the military, we have done with the police, and we now have the teachers. But the irony about it is, for the most educated, they are the least informed. That is why we say, let's take this into the doorstep of the customers.
At times, they have mismatched information. The one that the past people that have passed away in our parents, the one that they give, will be hearing from the one who will be giving as dependents will be given to them. If only what we're doing here will be followed up, it will help us to solve those problems.
To say we have not had challenges, I may be wrong to say that. We have had serious challenges as a scheme. But those challenges as they come, we stem them in a positive way. Most of the time, we are being bashed on investment. That's the area where our challenges are. For the last couple of years, say 10 years, our challenges have been with the investment, and the investments have not been too well. So what have we done so far as an institution? When His Excellency retired Brigadier Julius Madabin took over his office, he was proud of that. He committed his manifesto to the people of this country that if he's voted in as president, he will ensure that serious investigations and analysis taken of the investment of Nassit for the last 10 years. His Excellency re-echoed that in Parliament as well. And when they also installed the technical audit, they re-echoed that they want to do an investment analysis of Nassit. That has been done. Upon taking up appointment, we instituted an investigation. We had an international consulting firm, the PwC, which has done a thorough job for us. And that report is now available to be presented to His Excellency. So in terms of manifesto promises, he has delivered on that.
The members' conference has always been conceived to have people that have come from other jurisdictions to provide their experiences. And so that was how the program, the initial program was conceived that way. So coming to 20 years of its operations, we know if Nassit would have been a human being, right? It would have transcended from the childhood of the childhood, right? Mm-hmm. When you take out the social protection floor, right? Where we are trying to develop a social protection policy that takes into the consideration from the cradle to the grave. Though Nassit would have transcended, the early childhood phase. They have gone to high school, it would have transcended from there. Then it would have been on the youthful stage, where they will be transcending to the employment stage, where it is active for it to be able to carry more of its functions. So given that particular background, I believe the trust, despite the challenges confronting it, they have been able to stand the test of time.
We don't count one of the biggest offices there, where they exist in other regions, the Nassit regional office. It means a lot, because it means the team name where His Excellency the President promised the people of Podlok and the people of the Northwestern region, then they happen every day. So this like dream come true for the people in the Northwestern region, because for the first time, they say we get a regional Nassit office. So they're not able to go free town, they get an office where we serve them. It is not any kind of office, but a modern one.
Nassit continues to deliver on its mandate of paying out decent pension benefits to members and their dependents. The trust has also invested heavily in real estate, hospitality, and financial sectors of the country. The improved service and delivery and enhanced process efficiency, Nassit is replacing its current integrated biometric registration system, referred to as NAPOS2, with a fully functional web-based integrated biometric pension administration system.
Today is your turn to ask Nassit to account for their stewardship. What are they doing with your funds? And this documentary is evidence that Nassit is putting your funds to sweat, so that generations yet unborn would meet a solid Nassit. That's why the DG is always saying it is incumbent on the board and management to ensure we build and develop a well-run company that we can pass on to generation yet unborn. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, again, it is my pleasure to invite the man himself, Fuad Dabo, to make a statement. The DG. Let's give.
Honorable Minister of Labour and Social Security, Deputy Minister of Labour and Social Security, Ministers of Government present, other ministers, heads of departments, the Director General of HRMO, the foreign guests. Let me take some moments to personally introduce the foreign guests who have taken their time to join us on this celebration. Dr. Sapara Grant. Dr. Sapara Grant is the CEO of Glico Pensions Ghana. John Ofori. John is the Director General of SNIT, the equivalent of Nassit in Ghana. Ahmad Bamba. Ahmad is the liaison officer for the International Social Security Association, West Africa. Let me, on behalf of Nassit, also extend a warm welcome to our esteemed members and pensioners, members of the Fourth Estate, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. A very good morning to you all. On this momentous occasion of the Trust's 20th anniversary, permit me, Your Excellency, Dr. Mohamed Jude Jallow, and the government of Sierra Leone for giving Social Security the prominence it deserves as a human right. The government's consistent support in pursuit of our objective of establishing an effective social security trust that deserves the needs of our citizens is truly commendable. We have made great progress towards achieving the International Labour Organization's definition of social security as, I quote, the protection that society provides to individuals and households to ensure access and health care to secure income security, particularly in cases of old age, unemployment, sickness, invalidity, work injury, maternity, or loss of a breadwinner. As an instrument of income security in the trials of years of public workers' life, and also supporting survivors in the event of a worker's demise, it assures social and economic justice. It helps eradicate persistent cycles of poverty and long-term economic vulnerabilities. Additionally, investment in various growth portfolios support local economic development. It was in this spirit that the late President Dr. Ahmad Jankaba established Nassit as a public trust to provide retirement and other benefits to meet the contingency needs of workers and their dependents. The Act makes the scheme compulsory for all workers in the formal sector, where there is an employer-employee relationship. The Nassit Act also provides for voluntary membership for persons in the informal sector and those who are self-employed. Since 2002, and in spite of some challenges, Nassit has delivered on its mandate of providing sustainable social security and administering pensions to our esteemed members. We have come a long way, and I'm delighted to share with you some of our consistent successes. Honorable Vice President, before I get to that, it is not wrong to repeat good habits. There are moments in one's life that society accepts you, that you contribute to society. And it is also important for us that have benefited from the provision of those individuals, for us to accept and recognize them. Having them been recognized, there is no crime for me to repeat that recognition again. Let me, Honorable Vice President, recognize again the presence of Dr. Safa Koroma in a special way. Let me also recognize the very first Director General, Edmond Koroma. Edmond actually recruited me as the head of human resources in Nassit. Gentlemen, you are most welcome. We accept you and recognize you. Having commenced operations in rented apartments in Freetown, Bo, Makini, and Kenana, I'm happy to report that out of our 11 office locations currently across the country, only 3, Putloko, West East, and Kono, are rented properties. Construction is at an advanced stage for the Putloko headquarters office. The construction of our first district office ever in the history of Nassit is Moyamba, is also progressing very well. These new establishments are intended to make our services accessible to our members at least cost and most convenience throughout the country. With a strong commitment to service delivery, our staff strength has grown from 100 to 416 across the country. I know Edmond will be gloating, having left its doors at 100. Now we are 416. We will continue to recruit and retain high-quality staff base on our business needs. We hope we have registered upward ticks in the numbers of registered members in the scheme, average monthly contributions and average monthly pensions payment. Additionally, in fulfillment of a promise made by His Excellency Brigadier General Retired Julius Madabio to make the lives of government pensioners better, we have collaborated with the Ministry of Finance to index all low pension benefits from as low as 26 new loans to 250 new loans, the minimum received by the counterpart national pensioners. Honorable Vice President, we are contending with non-compliant employers who still default on registering their employees and pay contributions. I'm glad that employers are here to join us celebrate our 20th anniversary. And let me go over that again, Honorable Vice President. We are contending with non-compliant employers who still default on registering their employees and paying contributions. This threatens the financial sustainability of the trust. We have collaborated with the judiciary of Sierra Leone and established the Social Security and Industrial Court of Sierra Leone, which addresses perennial non-compliance and other related issues faced by the trust. Let me at this stage pay tributes to our Minister of Labour and Social Security and the current Chief Justice for their untiring effort in granting us space and establishing this court, which has improved tremendously the compliance status of members. Not only penalties that are faced, Honorable Vice President, for those delinquent institutions or employers. We have also introduced an annual banquet and award ceremony. It is a forum where the trust and our members, especially the employers, get together with the aim of fostering improved relationship and partnership, deepening their understanding of the work of the trust and engendering stronger commitment to and support Nassit programs, especially in the areas of registration, contribution collections, and data management. We also recognize and award some of those employers who are fully compliant with the provisions of the Nassit Act. I know in our midst, I can see some of the awardees or former awardees. Sarah Rutai is here, British Shore. Also, Gold Ireland is here. These are all awardees that are being awarded because they are compliant. Honorable Vice President, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, there is a dire need to leverage the latest ICT tools to enhance pension administration and thus improve service delivery to members. Our 15-year-old main operating platform is no longer adequate for processing high-volume data.
and speedy inquiries. On assumption of office as Director General on the 30th May 2018, management and I held several consultations, both within and outside Nassit, on how we could move the process of transforming our ICT infrastructure forward, especially given moratorium put in place by the previous administration on procuring the web-based biometric pension administration system. The new government of His Excellency President Julius Madabio listened favorably to our request to lift the procurement ban. We then worked with the Directorate of Science, Technology, Innovation in the Office of the President and State House for technical advice and to guide our needs for data cleaning, enterprise resource planning, and the implementation of a West-based biometric pension administration system. We are especially grateful to Dr. David Moina Stenge for his advice during the data cleaning exercise. Let me also take this singular honor to thank my brother, John Ofori, the Director General of SNIT, for their initial thought on our transformation with the ICT. John, I thank you very much. I extend my thanks and sincere appreciation to your management. So in early 2021, we recruited Info Career and Consortium Company through a public tender to manage our ICT transformation drive. As a limited company incorporated in the Republic of India, while Sterling Sierra Leone Limited Liability Company incorporated in Sierra Leone. Both firms have executed and registered their joint venture agreement in the Republic of Sierra Leone. Honorable Vice President, let me also inform members that the Info Career Consortium Company from India are here with us. Is Yogan in? Yeah, thank you very much. Over the years, the Trust has maintained a diversified investment portfolio comprising tourism and hospitality, i.e. the Radisson Blue Hotel, the Golden Tulip in Bima, and the Hilton Cape Syria, real estate to the financial services and agricultural sector. We have invested not only in treasury-based bonds and other deposits, but also have shares in Sierra Leone Commercial Bank, Commerce and Mortgage Bank, Standard Chartered Bank, Roker Commercial Bank, and Eco Transnational. With a view to restructuring Nassit in line with the commitment made in the New Direction Manifesto, our investment portfolios were subject of a technical audit instituted by the government of His Excellency Julius Madabio. Through public tender, we contracted the services of PricewaterhouseCoopers, a financial analyst consulting firm. The firm has presented its findings to the Minister of Labour and Social Security for the attention of government. Honorable Vice President, please convey our thanks to His Excellency and that his manifesto promise he has delivered on that. Additionally, credible investment ventures for which there are viable markets, such as student hostels and affordable housing, have been identified. It gives me great pleasure, Your Excellency, therefore, Mr. Chairman, to announce that we have signed a memorandum of understanding with the Chinese Gansu International Corporation for international and technical cooperation for the construction of the hostels and 5,000 affordable housing units. Honorable Vice President, Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, the current Nassit Act is long overdue for review. The urgent need was articulated by His Excellency during his presidential address to Parliament on the 2nd May 2019. Although the stakeholder engagement commenced some years ago, the process of analyzing the review has been slow. We have, however, revitalized the process, and on behalf of management, and encourage all of you stakeholders to support the speedy conclusion of the review process. We have, however, implemented innovative solutions to shorten benefit claim times and access to benefits. In 2019, management established Project 54+ that is responsible for interfacing with our members in order to ensure that their data are up to date before they apply for their retirement benefits. Furthermore, to address concerns
and deepen the knowledge of our membership on the operations of the scheme. We will continue to expand our use of various media in broad-ranging public education campaigns. We have targeted sectors including the Republic of Sierra Leone Armed Forces, the Sierra Leone Police, the teachers, through the Sierra Leone Teachers Union, and media practitioners with support from the Independent Media Commission. We are currently engaging health workers in the civil service. There have been efforts to incorporate informal sector workers in the scheme. In anticipation of the possible participation of that sector, the trust formed an informal sector unit in the operations division. There has, however, been great reluctance by this sector to participate in the current Nassit scheme. Management has formally approached the International Labour Organization for technical assistance for the establishment of an attractive scheme for informal sector workers in Sierra Leone. The ILO has accepted to support the trust. Your Excellency, again, let me also recognize a technical support from one of our brothers, Dr. Sapara Grant, who is the CEO for Glico Pensions Ghana. He has given tremendous support to our informal sector studies. In readiness, the trust has held joint stakeholders meetings with the objective of establishing a business case for the informal sector. Steering and technical committees of the informal sector was inaugurated and by the Honorable Minister of Labour, Social Security, who have set a date in December 2002 as a deadline for training sessions, completing technical studies, and producing the blueprint for the proposed scheme. Let me publicly here this morning to confirm to my minister that that target will be met. On the continent, we continue to collaborate closely with bilateral partners as well as umbrella organizations, such as the International Social Security Association, as you see, member here, and other pension fund organizations. The experience sharing and technical exchange have been rewarding, especially for the effective administration of our scheme. Our hard work and participation in these organizations have earned us recognition at the international stage. As I speak to you, Honorable Vice President, I'm a co-chair of the African Pension Supervisors Forum and the Vice Chairman of the Eastern Technical Committee on the Investment of Social Security Funds Africa. I will conclude by re-echoing Nassit's strong endeavor to evince its care values of respect, accountability, transparency, and excellence. As a public trust, we remain committed to administering a viable scheme that offers income security and a dignified retirement to members or their survivors. Let me thank you. God bless you. God bless Nassit and its members. God bless the government and the Republic of Sierra Leone. God bless His Excellency, the President, Dr. Julius Madabi. I thank you very much.
Okay, to stand up. Can our trustees stand up, please? Look at how beautiful and handsome they are. But I have a message for you, trustees.
This time is to ensure we deliver 5,000 units of houses for our people. That's the goal. You will see it.
Is known to have passion for everything he does. He's known to be one of the architects of Nassit's systems, structures, and policies. Is known to be a solidarity fellow. He is no other person, the Honorable Minister of Labour and Social Security.
The ministers of government present here, including my deputy, Mr. Lance Nadumbuya, honorable members of parliament, our distinguished friends from Ghana and ISA, members of the Fourth Estate, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Nassit was formally launched on the 1st of May 2002 by His Excellency, the late President Alhaji Dr. Ahmad Chijan Kaban. And the choice of the above-mentioned date by the late president was not accidental, but very deliberate. As May 1, normally referred to as May Day, is Workers' Day all over the world. And for President Kaban, he believed, and rightly so, that the best gift to workers on a day that has been slated as International Workers' Day was to establish a scheme for workers known as the National Social Security and Insurance Scheme. According to him, the scheme will take care of their livelihood, the families, and the dependents. That was a day of joy for all workers in Sierra Leone. It was a period of celebration and a day of fulfillment. At that time, the following directorate was established at the commencement of the trust operations. 1, the Directorate of Operations, then headed by Mr. Jibril Sako. I hope he is around here. If he's here, let us also see him. Then the second directorate was that of Finance and Administration. It was headed by Mr. Ibrahim Ba. Now he is working in Ghana. And the third directorate was the Legal and Corporate Affairs Directorate, headed by Justice Sengu Kuruma, who is now President of the Social Security and Industrial Court. The administrative and professional heads of the Ministry of Labor, Social Security and Industrial Relations, as it was called, were Mr. Jacob Ikwi. I had the opportunity of seeing him yesterday. If he's here, can we give him a round of applause? This is the gentleman that the two of us first start in the office of the Ministry of Labor to start a discussion on how to translate President Kaban's dream of establishing a social security from paper to action. So I'm happy that he is here today to be part of the celebration. The late J.P. Genda was then Commissioner of Labor. May his soul rest in peace. Your Excellency, the trust started operations in the form of registration of establishments and employees, and the collection of 15% contributions, 5% from workers, and 10% from employers to be paid to the trust at the end of every month for every employee. The beginning of the trust operations was fraught with skepticism, misconceptions, and mistrust by many in society. However, the misconceptions and skepticisms were minimized under the able leadership and with the prudent management of the trust finances by the former Director General, Mr. Eric Ajay, then from Ghana, and the late Sidiki Dao, and the team who embarked on robust and aggressive public sensitization. 5 years along the line of operations, Mr. Edmond Kuruma, who has been recognized and whom I still ask you to give a round of applause for his services, was appointed Director General of the Trust. And it was during his tenure as Director General of Nassit that the idea of organizing members' conference every 5 years was born. A proposal to host Nassit's 5th anniversary celebrations was prepared by management and the board and submitted to me. The celebration was not only geared towards celebrating the successes gained so far by the scheme, but it was meant to be a very potent tool of national sensitization, during which a critical reflection of the trust's current activities were looked into, challenges faced by the scheme itself, and to map out ways to solve the challenges, thereby preventing their reoccurrence. It was also meant to bring together stakeholders and establish a platform for sharing views and experiences with similar institutions, especially the African continent and international social security associations, as you can see from our guests here. The trust is of the firm conviction that when there is an understanding of social security concepts, principles, and its operations, then the public will better support the policies and programs of Nassit. The theme for the 5 years anniversary celebration of Nassit was no social justice without social security. And the slogan was lean on Nassit for a secure future. I would have spent some time to explain the rationale behind this, but for the time of the Vice President. The expected outcomes were and largely continue to remain increased awareness and deep understanding of the various activities of Nassit, substantial feedback from the stakeholders on vital issues that should be incorporated in the Nassit scheme to maximize satisfaction of our members and the general public, enhanced knowledge and understanding on other general and social protection issues, especially as they relate to international best practices in the administration of social security schemes, activate and promote a trickle-down effect so that participants will provide factual information to their constituents, build their confidence, and eventually lead to the growth of the scheme. And finally, to promote good corporate governance and accountability to stakeholders. Honorable Vice President, the fact that Sierra Leone is operating under a climate of mistrust, especially for public sector organizations, cannot be overemphasized. Nassit, as an institution, was determined to break that one. Let me state here that good governance is the foundation of an effective social security system. This includes how best the trust manages its affairs and takes its decisions, how the institution is structured and the rules it adopts to ensure it acts with integrity, how it relates to who contributes to the scheme, and look forward to it for protection when it is needed. Nothing can undermine confidence in a social security organization more rapidly than when its stakeholders no longer believe the organization and its staffs are performing their work with integrity. Worthy of note, Excellency Vice President, members present here, at the 5-year celebration of Nassit, we set ourselves a target for certain activities to be accomplished within the 5-year period of Nassit. One of those activities was we committed ourselves to ensure that an enabling environment is provided for all workers that were initially recruited for Nassit. That was why we committed ourselves to the point that all our area offices, starting from the north, the south, the east, and the west, all were constructed within the 5 years of Nassit's existence. And that was a target that we set ourselves to accomplish. On the 1st of May, within that particular year, which was supposed to be the Workers' Day, the program of Nassit, in addition to some of the activities that I have mentioned, was to have a march past from St. John, go to National Stadium. And the objective of doing that was to increase the awareness of the people in terms of the existence of Nassit as an organization. And I'm pleased to say that that particular moment was a moment of joy and celebration. In the SLPP Manifesto 2007, dubbed a platform for peace, consolidation, and prosperity, provisions were made on how Nassit was to be taken to another level. Unfortunately, however, we did not have the opportunity to implement those programs as a government because a new government was voted into power with its agenda for change and later agenda for prosperity. It was during this period that the 10th and the 15th anniversary celebrations of the Trust were held. Honorable Vice President, members present here, those celebrations are celebrated in the 1st of March to the 30th of April 2022 that is to say the 10th year's anniversary celebration for Nassit, and the number of activities were slated, including Muslim Thanksgiving and the Christian Thanksgiving. This was deliberate on the part of Nassit because, as an institution, we believe that anything that we do, we must put God first. That is why in all celebrations that mark the 5 years anniversary celebration of the Trust, members were asked to observe both Muslim and Christian prayers. The 15th anniversary celebration of Nassit was held from the 10th to the 12th of October 2017 and was geared towards a self-assessment of the Trust's public perception and understanding of the scheme after a decade and a half in operation and existence. And the theme for the 15th year celebration was harnessing the gains, challenges, opportunities towards improved service delivery. And the slogan was taking Nassit to the people. This was appropriate, given the fact that the Trust can only succeed if it extends its coverage to all sectors in the country, including those in the formal sector. The new program and projects committed to be implemented included but not limited to the introduction of SLESHI as a scheme, which the Honorable Vice President had a discussion with us this morning with the Board of Trustees, the Employment Injury Scheme, the Informal Sector Scheme, and the review of the Nassit Act. Those activities are activities that are pursued by the Trust, and as I speak, they are ongoing. The theme for the 20th anniversary celebrations is a visible Nassit, improving efficiency through digitization for national development. The objective of this conference, as you may have learned, like the previous ones, is to update the membership of the current status of the scheme as it relates to the fundamental issues of membership, benefit, and fund management, as you have heard from the statement of the Director General, stimulate dialogue and feedback from members on a variety of issues for incorporation in the Trust strategic planning process, and to establish a forum for sharing views and experiences with sister institutions in the African region and beyond, as you will see during the course of this particular conference. The success of a pension fund like Nassit, with a mix of thousands of employers, hundreds of thousands of employees, and millions to be in the future, with the coverage of informal sector, requires thought processes and comprehensive systems with integrity to avert fraud. From the outset, the Trust sought to implement and improve its technological infrastructure to create a more transparent and efficient Nassit on all aspects of members' registration, to benefit administration, with a stern outlook to avert fraud and benefit payment delays. Nassit has made significant progress in this direction by implementing cutting-edge biometric pension technologies, but more needs to be done. And this is more the reason why they have coined the theme for this particular conference the way they have done it. The future of Nassit lies largely on the systems it implements. We live in a digital world, and Nassit cannot afford to trade behind other social security systems, especially in Africa. The Trust digitization strategy and infrastructure will impact the success of the fund and the critical data needed for the periodic actuarial analysis needed to assess the solvency of the scheme to meet its future obligations. I will work with the management and the board to revisit the Trust path in that particular direction. As a government, Excellency Vice President, you are aware that we are very much committed to providing a comprehensive social protection program to address all life cycle vulnerabilities. And for your own attention, His Excellency the Vice President is the chairman of the Interagency Forum, to which I serve as Vice Chair, charged with the responsibility of ensuring that a comprehensive social protection scheme is devised for the people of Sierra Leone. This is helpful in terms of providing clarity on the different risks, vulnerabilities, the objectives and partnerships, coordination, and the linkages relating to different life course approaches. If Nassit were to be looked at from the point of view of a comprehensive social protection strategy, then we would say at the age of 20, Nassit would have completed high school, right? University, and they are almost entering into the world of work. So in the new direction, People's Manifesto, under the heading Protecting and Empowering Our Workers, page 53.3.5 states, and I quote, "The National Social Security and Insurance Trust, Nassit, with the last SLPP administration set up, is facing serious threat. The non-payment of contribution by both government and private employees, challenging investment decisions on the pension fund, and wrong investment at some point has created serious threats in the implementation of the trust programs. As a result of these, among others, the government promised to first conduct a comprehensive systems audit that will entail financial, procurement, technical, as well as managerial audits on all its investment with a view to restructuring Nassit and making it more effective and efficient. And secondly, to review the Nassit Act and restructure the institution to make it more efficient and effective for achieving its objectives. I'm pleased to announce that the first task has been completed and the report is now available. That has been said by the Director General himself, Mr. Fuad Dabo. The review of the Nassit Act is also ongoing and shall be completed prior to the end of our first tenure in office. Mr. Chairman, Honorable Vice President, a few weeks ago, I inaugurated the latest Board of Trustees of Nassit, and I impressed on them their responsibilities as trustees and the expectations of government and the people of Sierra Leone in the discharge of their work. Before the end of my tenure as Minister of Labor and Social Security, of course that depends on discretion of the Vice President and His Excellency the President, we will pursue vigorously the vision of His Excellency the President, retired Brigadier Julius Madabio, in ensuring that a comprehensive social protection scheme is established for the people of Sierra Leone by promulgating a social protection bill that will eventually establish a social protection authority. This is very important for the people of Sierra Leone, as we have seen the gaps that Nassit has provided and some of the vulnerabilities that still exist within the vast majority of our people in Sierra Leone. So with this is a time of celebration. I'm happy as a minister. I may not have the opportunity that I have now because this event is going to be organized after 5 years, so I will not be Minister of Labor again. I will not have that opportunity of being a Minister of Labor. So with that, I want to take this moment to sincerely thank His Excellency, the President, retired Brigadier Julius Madabio, and the Vice President, for giving me the opportunity once more to come to the Ministry of Labor. There were a lot of unaccomplished tasks at the time when we were removed out of government, and that gap has resulted to a number of implications, which by God's grace, with our second tenure in office, would ensure we put pressure on Mr. Fuad Dabo for them to know that for Nassit to succeed, we must have targets. And when one's targets are set, we must work towards ensuring that those targets are met. With that, I want to thank you very much and wish you a very successful conference.
Mesdames et Messieurs les membres du conseil d'administration de Nassit, je voudrais prendre la parole en français et avec votre autorisation. Et la traduction sera faite par M. le directeur général de SNIT Ghana.
Your Excellencies and invited guests, all protocol observed, I would like to make my remarks in French, and I'm just just called on my friend from Ghana to interpret into English.
C'est une joie immense pour moi et un honneur inestimable d'être ici à Sierra Leone, à Freetown, qui pour moi aujourd'hui est un second pays. Ça fait plusieurs fois que je viens ici en Sierra Leone et c'est toujours un plaisir pour moi d'être ici dans la mesure où je suis chez moi et je vois les progrès qui sont enregistrés par Nassit au sein de la population de Sierra Leone.
It's a great honor for me to be asked to give these few remarks. I've been coming here several times and I am very impressed to witness the tremendous progress that has been made by Nassit over the years.
Évidemment, tous ces progrès n'auraient pas pu être enregistrés sans la volonté, sans la vision de son Excellence, Monsieur le Président de la République.
Evidently, this progress could not have been achieved without the support and the vision of His Excellency, the President of the Republic.
Et sans la vision du travail fait par tout le gouvernement et l'équipe dirigeante de Nassit et tout le personnel de Nassit.
And without the work that has been done by the whole government and the management and the board, the staff of Nassit, who are very dedicated to the work that they do.
Et le soutien de toute la population de Sierra Leone.
And all the people of Sierra Leone.
Félicitations pour tout le travail qui est fait au niveau de l'ISS, de ISA, l'Association internationale de sécurité sociale. Nassit est un membre extrêmement influent qui a fait beaucoup de choses et ses bonnes pratiques sont partagées par beaucoup d'institutions de sécurité sociale de la région.
And congratulations for all the work that has been done. And at the level of ISA, which is the International Society Organization, Nassit is held in high esteem. And all the good practices that have been made over here, the successes that have been chalked, will be shared to the whole organization.
Je voudrais saisir encore cette occasion pour remercier Son Excellence, Monsieur le Vice-président. Il est distingué membre du gouvernement et les membres du conseil d'abstention et tout le public pour m'avoir fait l'honneur d'être ici. Et vous remercier encore une fois pour tout le travail qui est fait au nom de l'ISS et à mon nom personnel. Merci, Monsieur le Vice-président.
At this moment, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank His Excellency, the President, the Vice President, and all the government, as well as the board and management of Nassit, for giving me the opportunity, for inviting me to come and witness this occasion. I thank you very much.
The DG SNIT translator a few minutes ago to give us a statement of good message. So,
and the ministers gathered here, board, and my good friend DG of Nassit. I didn't know you were going to put us on the spot like this. You didn't let us know, but we're always ready. Since we are all in this together. I am very honored to be here. Unlike Monsieur Bamba, this is my first time coming to Sierra Leone, and it's a great honor for me to be here. I take immense pride when Mr. Dabo refers to us in very fond ways, the way he did in his speech, because we've had a very good relationship. Ghana and Sierra Leone, at least had a lot of cooperation. Mr. Dabo and his team has come to my place. Sometimes the last time he didn't even come, but he sent the deputy, and the board. I think we've been interacting for probably 2 or 3 times. And it's always a pleasure to learn from each other when we meet. And so I am glad, and I bring you fraternal greetings from the board and management of SNET, and wish you well. The first 20 years has been good. The next 20 years is going to be challenging as you start to pay more benefits and the chickens come home to roost to some extent. But I know that with the support from the government and the leadership that you have and the dedicated men and women, staff who work very hard every day, you'll be able to make the next 20 years very eventful, and then the next 20 will even be better. So on behalf of the people of Ghana and the Senate in Ghana, we wish you very well, and thank you for inviting us.
Time in Sierra Leone. Luckily for us, the DG Nassit was able to engage the DG SNIT for a team from Nassit to visit SNIT to understand how they were able to successfully go through the redenomination exercise. Yes, I was part of that team. We went to Ghana, and the SNIT DG himself, he took time off to take us through the challenges they encountered and the lessons learned. And Mr. DG, sir, that exposure we came back with helped us to work with the central bank in doing the implementation of the denomination exercise in Sierra Leone. We thank you very much, sir. The first time I sat on the board of Nassit, I looked at the books and said to the DG and team, what is happening to the informal sector? Because I'm aware that 90% of employment sits in the informal sector. So I said to the DG and team, what are we going to do to bring them on board? They promised me they're going to look into it. And indeed, they've looked into it. And I'm delighted that at least we've been able to set up this technical and the steering committee to see how we can graduate some of our people in the informal sector to the formal sector. And somebody who knows much about that graduation and migration is another person, and he was introduced as the expert in the informal sector migration. He is Dr. Sapara Grant, our next Goodwill Message Ambassador.
On this occasion, I've been here, I've been here, I think, a couple of times. And on the 15th anniversary, I was here. So, and I can see that you're making progress as we go along. It is very heartwarming. For Ghana and Sierra Leone, as you said, we've been in touch and association as far as religious matters are concerned. And so we're always happy to know that you are making strides. I was formerly also in the Senate before I went to the private sector, and therefore was honored at the time to have started the first national, I would say, scheme for the informal sector. So we're always ready to share our experiences as we go along. SNET has been around for the past 50 years. It was incubated at the SNET before it was settled. The good thing is that once you have somebody who has gone through that process before, it helps you to avoid mistakes that can be made. So, but then there are also specifics as far as each country and the place are concerned. It has to be taken on board. So as we go along, we are always available and prepared to assist as much as possible for you to go along the journey that we see here. So on this occasion, I want to associate with my two predecessors in saying, in my country will say, Ayuko, that means that we have a look for where you have come. You know, it's not going to be an easy task. It's been difficult, going to have its own challenges, but I think that with the resolve, the dedication of the government is going to happen. For the informal sector, one very important thing that has to happen is to have a good economic environment, because they work and pay by the day. So no matter the technical systems you put together, if the person hasn't got disposable income, he's not going to be able to finance. And so we are happy to note that the government is putting its system, is supportive of the process. Once the government takes note of it and knows that informal sector systems, social security systems are part of the development agenda and is placed at the forefront. And obviously, everything that has to be done to support it will be in place. So I want to congratulate you and also want to say that we are honored to be here today to be part of this process, and we are available at any time to assist. Thank you very much.
And we're pretty sure the managers of our finances in this country would ensure we create economic regeneration activities so we can go back to those glorious days of economic prosperity. It is again my honor and privilege to ask the Honorable Vice President to make a statement.
Honorable Minister, our distinguished guest, West Africa, Director General, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum. On behalf of His Excellency the President, who had wanted to be here, but the program that was designed, it was supposed to come around 1, but then we decided that the program should go on. So he could not be here, but he wanted to be here, especially to reiterate his manifesto commitment before he assumed office in 2018, his vision for an institution that is so very close to his heart. So on his behalf, I want to formally welcome you to this Nassit 20th Anniversary Members Conference. Like I said, on His Excellency's behalf also, I want to personally congratulate you and wish you the best of celebration as you go through 20 years of keeping a vision alive. It is interesting to note that this celebration is taking place at a very difficult time in the world, and Sierra Leone is not immune to those difficulties. As you know, when we were going through COVID, we started as a government, not only in Sierra Leone, but across sub-Saharan Africa, to design a post-COVID recovery program. Only for us to be grappling now with the very problematic dynamics of the Ukrainian-Russian crisis, which has no doubt impacting not only countries or small economies like Sierra Leone, but also big economies like the West, particularly France and others. So the celebration is taking place against that background, when things are getting difficult around the world and it's impacting Sierra Leone. And you know, when you talk about the pension scheme, you are supporting people so that at least to ensure income security, and the little income you give them has to make sense within an ecosystem where you have the social sector, you have the productive sector. Those sectors have to do very well. Today is a time for celebration. It is 20 years of a vision that was designed to guarantee, like I said, income security and transform the lives of thousands of Sierra Leoneans and their dependents. It was the vision, like the Honorable Minister said, of the late President Ahmed Tijan Kaba, who believed that there is a need to place income security at the heart of the working circle of hard-working Sierra Leoneans. He established Nassit that allows for workers and employers to contribute to the future income needs of citizens and their families. This trust, Nassit, has no doubt provided a dignified retirement with fixed and predictable income or reasonable survival benefits for beneficiaries. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I don't need to go through all what the Minister and the Director General have said. As you have heard, they have painted a picture of how far this trust has come. And as a government, we are very pleased, 20 years on, that we have a committed ministry, a committed institution, a committed management, trustees, and members of staff that have worked very hard to keep that vision alive and even to expand on the benefits that we are seeing today. They have also, the Minister and the Director General have also used the occasion to clearly outline the challenges and the great strides the institution continues to make, particularly to modernize it, to keep that vision alive. In the last 4 years, as a government, we have been engaged because, like I said, it was a manifesto commitment on the part of His Excellency to transform this institution. Before we assumed office as a government, we committed to undertake a comprehensive audit of the institution with the objective to make it fit for purpose. The DG and the Minister have already spoken about that the audit took place and the audit findings have been presented to government, and we are going to work very hard to look into those findings in order to see how to restructure this institution to make it more effective and efficient. Our brother DG from SNIT in Nassit in Ghana told us that 20 years is good, but the next 20 years is going to be very challenging. But before I dwell on some of the refreshing ideas from government into how we see the institution growing in the next couple of years, particularly in a very unpredictable socio-economic environment that we are grappling with, not only as a government, but as a continent. I want to take the opportunity first to thank the Minister, to thank the Director General, the trustees, and the members of staff for what you have done in the last couple of years. One, we realize that you have established more service centers. And I think I'm also a beneficiary of those service centers because everywhere I go, I use Nassit facilities as offices and also as guest house. So you have been hosting me. So I think I want to thank you for that. And it's a pity that the auditors never came to interview me to see how best you are keeping those facilities. But I'm always available to tell you how those facilities are functioning and the excellent staff you have in those facilities. Equally, you have undertaken the last couple of years innovative investment. I will come to that later, but you have increased and expanded your investment. And more importantly, you have increased pension benefits. I want to thank you for that. But one of the novelty that you also created is the establishment of the Social Security and Industrial Court to expedite litigations. And the minister and the DG has already highlighted one of the key innovations is the expansive investment you've made in digitalization. Today, we realize the importance of that. I don't need to go through that, but that is the world we have today, and digital governance, no doubt, has serious economic and administrative returns. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, despite this progress and the positive investment we've made over the years, like our brothers from Ghana said, we still have a long way to go, and the next couple of years is going to be challenging. Because when we came in as a government, 2018, 2019, we had the luxury to engage in capital investment because the revenue was doing well, the world was stable. But since COVID and the Ukrainian crisis, we have been struggling to increase government revenue base and to undertake capital investment. So today, as a government, we are satisfied that we are able to keep our commitment in the social sector, particularly in education, where we put 22%. And also the increment we have made in the health sector from 6% to 11.4%, we are keeping that. But capital investment has been very challenging. And this is just not to paint a very bad picture, but usually people say politicians don't tell the truth, but we want to tell the truth because it is the truth that will give people, that will enable people to assess the effort. In this conference, I want to urge stakeholders, one, to speed up the review of the Nassit Act. The minister have already highlighted that. That is very, very important. And we hope that the findings of the audit, the comprehensive audit, is going to feed in that process. Secondly, the chairman just made mention about the informal sector. It is very critical because every time I have the opportunity to attend Labor Day, I see a lot of young workers carrying placards, clearly asking for government to intervene so that the informal sector can be captured within the Nassit scheme. So that is something we want you to pay attention to. Because most, you know, the manifesto commitment of His Excellency. Today we are implementing the human capital development vision of His Excellency. And that vision is essentially around three big sectors. One is education, the second one is health, and the third one is food production. But when you look at those three key elements, you realize that it is about placing the human being at the center of our efforts. And majority of citizens today in this country are women, and most of whom are in the informal sector. I think capturing them within the scheme is going to be very, very good, and it is going to help us accelerate that human capital development, particularly with regards to caring for them and caring for the fragile in the society. And it is also an opportunity to capture people living with disability. that are also very active in the informal sector. I hope that is something you are going to think about, and that is something that will feature in the review of the Act. Another critical challenge that is affecting pensioners and even active working force today in Sierra Leone is what we call housing poverty. Housing poverty and healthcare provision. If you look at the analysis that was presented to the Interministerial Committee on Slashing, you realize despite government has made a progress since 2018 to move the budgetary allocation in the health sector from 6% to 8%, from 8% today we are at 11.4%. We know as a government we are still short because we have not met the Abuja Declaration that says every sub-Saharan African country needs to spend 15% of its GDP on health. We have moved in the last 4 years from 6 to 11.4%. Despite that, you realize that today the study that was conducted by the technical team for Slashing clearly shows that out-of-pocket contribution for healthcare services in Sierra Leone is still very, very high. It's still very, very high. Average Sierra Leoneans spend a lot of money, to access healthcare service. So, as a government, we have a commitment for universal health coverage. And what we wanted is that we designed 2 pathways to achieving universal health coverage by 2030. The first track is the free healthcare. Wherein, of course, we are going to make a review. We are providing free healthcare for under 5 kids, pregnant women. We continue to invest in that area. Like I said, the greater part of the 11.4% we are putting in the health sector, we have recruited over 6,000 to 8,000 healthcare workers. We have taken over the ambulance system, we are renovating, we are increasing the blood bank capacity. We are reducing maternal and infant health. For the first time in Sierra Leone, we have introduced into the budget a budgetary allocation for nutrition because we realize that nutrition is very vital for safe delivery. Because if you have a malnourished pregnant woman, the tendency for that malnourished pregnant woman to give birth to a malnourished baby is very high. That is why as a government, the last year we introduced an allocation for nutrition so that we can open nutrition clinic in most of those hospitals to support pregnant women. Because the critical phase in maternal and infant health is what we call the 1,000 days, from the time the woman gets pregnant to the time it delivers and the time the infancy, when the kid needs all those kind of vaccinations. So that 5 additional money we are spending on nutrition is just to tell you that as a government, we continue to invest in that sector to reduce infant maternal health. But despite that, the indicators, the statistics shows clearly today that out-of-pocket expenditure for the average Sierra Leonean family to access healthcare is still very, very high. So even universal free healthcare cannot capture, because if you are not within the bracket of a beneficiary for healthcare, we have to still support you. So that is why when we came in 2018, we said we are going to reinvigorate the Sierra Leone Health Insurance Scheme, that is the Slashing. We established an interministerial committee of which I am chairing. And the Minister of Labour happens to be in that committee, the Minister of Health and the Minister of Finance. We established a skeletal structure that is with consultants. We have traveled to other countries. We are sharing, we are looking at how other countries are managing with universal health coverage at the same time insurance scheme. I don't need to bother you with that, we've gone far because we believe that out-of-pocket expenditure for the average Sierra Leonean family for health, to access health, is still very high. And government has to do everything. And the conviction we have today is that if you operationalize SLESH together with the free healthcare package, that is going to enhance access to healthcare for majority of Sierra Leoneans. And I'm very happy that the minister made mention of that. But what we want is also from Nassit to think through. We know that the Deputy Director General is part of the technical team, but we want you to pay attention. I'm going to talk about that when I come to the investment portfolio, because it is amazing today. An X-ray machine costs $70,000, an X-ray machine. But if you go to Connaught Hospital, you will not find one. If you go to the 34 Hospital, you will not find one. Today, if you look at the Connaught Hospital, the entire radiography department has collapsed. And even the operating labs are struggling. The 34 Hospital. These are areas where you have thousands and thousands of Sierra Leoneans going to access healthcare. And I believe that one critical area that Nassit will improve investment is to invest in healthcare infrastructure. You have bought a lot of hotels, but now trying to invest. You have invested in hotels, healthcare infrastructure. And these are healthcare infrastructure you can grow, wherein you could encourage private sector participation. Nassit does not need to run an X-ray machine in Connaught, but Nassit can invest in the entire radiography department in Connaught and the laboratory and get private sector to run it. So that is, I've not yet come to the portfolio, investment portfolio. We're just talking about SLESH. So housing poverty. I'm happy that the chairman made mention of the commitment of the chairman of the trustee for building affordable housing. That is also one critical area. And when you look at the topography of Freetown, you realize every time we have flooding in this country, flooding. Normally, most people who work in Sierra Leone, one key thing they take away from Sierra Leone, when I was working in the United Nations, every time I meet a colleague that has worked in Sierra Leone before, they normally tell me about the beautiful time they had during the rainy season. They like the rains. But poor people who live in very dangerous places don't like rain, because the rains become a social menace for them. So when you look at the topography in Sierra Leone today, people are constructing a very difficult challenges. Go under the bridges. There is no way when there is flooding, you cannot expect catastrophe in that kind. Urban planning and all of this has been very chaotic in the last 20 years in this country. So in that context, everybody wants to come to Freetown. And the housing needs, the space to accommodate everybody in Freetown is just too unimaginable. So if in the future we are thinking about investment in housing scheme, I think out of Freetown, areas could be one. Already the government is planning to establish a new administrative city in Lunge, so that at least we can expand the capital to Lunge, because the land space here is no longer tenable. So housing facilities outside of Freetown would be a very smart investment, because it's one way to stop dangerous construction. As a government, you know, we started allocating lands to people working in the public sector through raffle. Just 3 weeks ago, I did about nearly, I think, 100 hectares, which we gave out to people from the police force, the teachers, and the military, people working in the postal services, nurses. It's a raffle draw, it's by chance. You go, you try your luck, and we allocated 2 town lots to each of them. But when you look at the peninsula, it's not tenable. You cannot do that for every Sierra Leonean. So access to decent housing is a very, very interesting thing. And I believe that is something that is very close to the heart of the minister and as well as the Director General. I also want to urge Nassit and the conference to review your investment portfolios. I don't need to talk much about this because this has been well spoken about. But part of the review should focus on how to enhance private sector participation in investment. It does not mean because an institution invests, you have to manage that investment. You can invest to save your money, but the management of that investment can be outsourced or can be encouraged other Sierra Leoneans to look into it. We have seen institutions here where Sierra Leoneans, His Excellency, when he was in NPRC, he gave the opportunity to Sierra Leoneans to buy NP. Today, NP is a pride in this country. Because when I go to Liberia, I go to Guinea, and I see NP expanding beyond Sierra Leone, then you realize that is an investment that has done very well. And so, I believe we can give Sierra Leoneans the opportunity to buy into some of those investments, to come in as private sectors in those investments. That is something that I think we need to look at. Equally, like I said, we look forward to seeing Nassit investing in the health sector. Today, every week or every month, government signs a lot of out-of-country healthcare support. And I must tell you that 2021 alone, government spent hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars to send people outside of Sierra Leone for medical support. And most of that medical support is around diagnostics. It's not that we don't have the medical doctors, that we don't just have the equipment to be able to diagnose some of those illnesses. And I believe these are not out-of-the-world equipment. These are equipment that an institution like Nassit or institutions like the Sierra Leone Commercial Bank, the Rokel Bank, they can invest in this equipment and then hand them over to private sector to run them. Because sometimes we're very scared about the maintenance culture. That is why all the X-ray machines in most of the public offices have collapsed. And then you have the very doctors who have private facilities, X-ray machines in their houses or in their private clinic. But the ones in the public hospital don't work. The ones they have work. So it's lack of maintenance. So, but when you outsource some of these facilities to private sector, believe me, they can be there. Because the interesting thing about private sector is profit. Because it is profit driven, they are going to do everything to stay in business. Because if you don't get profit, you go out of business. So we want to see a kind of a very innovative PPP approaches coming from Nassit. Because, like our brother said, the next 20 years is going to be very challenging. So distinguished ladies and gentlemen, you see, I want to place Nassit in the context of the socio-economic and investment transformation that is taking place. Today, we are asking people, we are making Sierra Leone investment competitive. We say the ease of doing business in Sierra Leone, when you look at the indicators, they are very low. We want to increase the chances for people to come and invest in Sierra Leone. That is why we are passing laws, we established the National Investment Board, we are addressing some of the structural challenges to investment, and we are providing incentive for investors to come. So when you have a trust like Nassit in Sierra Leone, you can be a big investor. You can be a big local investor. So we cannot have you and go and bring investors. We just need to relook, we just need to refocus the investment portfolio to ensure that they go wherein they can be able to make profit, they can be competitive, And more importantly, they will be able to serve the Sierra Leonean and enhance the human capital development portfolio and vision of His Excellency the President. You see, one area we realize that has been affecting investment, particularly the hotel and tourism sector, is infrastructure, energy, and water. Just a couple of days ago, we set up a team that has been going around to engage hotel management. We realized that most of these hotels and entertainment complexes are not on the national grid. If they are not on the national grid, they are going to spend a lot of money. So the overhead cost to manage some of these hotels and tourism is so huge that the investment return is very, very challenging. So yesterday, we had a very interesting cabinet meeting that lasted for about Minister from 11 to 6:30. And one of the key issues we were discussing yesterday in cabinet is state-owned enterprises. And we decided to categorize state-owned enterprises into two categories. You have state-owned enterprises that are public goods, electricity, water. I think the time when government have to control the delivery of essential services like electricity and water, we have passed that age. We have passed that age. It's not the business of government again to be generating water or generating electricity and selling electricity. This is private sector intervention. That is why we established in 2019 the Electricity and Water Regulatory Commission. It's to regulate the sector, but not to be a key player to be selling water and connecting people. So that is one thing we were discussing yesterday. Government is going to be bold enough in the next coming months and years to ensure that private sector participation in state-owned enterprises is clearly enhanced. Because government, I normally tell, government cannot run a bus, to be honest. So if you want government cannot. Government can create opportunity for private sector people to run a bus. So that kind of smart investment thinking processes, that is what we are trying to drive. And that is where I want to place Nassit. That we are looking for investors to come. If you have the resources, do smart investment. And get those smart investment to make a return. Since we came in 2018, we have established new industries in this country. Today, most Sierra Leoneans don't know. Sierra Leone is the largest producer of raw palm oil in Africa. We are exporting oil, both raw palm oil and cooking oil, to Guinea, to Senegal, to Mali, to Cote d'Ivoire. I know because I went to this country to sign agreement to allow these goods to be shipped to these countries. We are getting foreign exchange from those ones. So there are investments that can make returns. So let's refocus the investment portfolio. So distinguished ladies and gentlemen, you know I'm a politician. When you give me a mic, especially when it is less than 1 year to election, I will have to tell you what we have done and what we intend to do, so that you can continue to vote for His Excellency President Julius Maada Bio. On that positive note, I want to thank you very much, and I want to thank the leadership and the staff and management of Nassit. It is not always easy in sub-Saharan Africa to keep hope alive. It is not only easy to keep state institutions, although even autonomous state institutions alive. It is not easy. But you have come a long way, 20 years. And I want to thank the people that have contributed to this dream. They are here. Dr. Sanfa Kuroma is there. The first Director General, Sierra Leonean Director General, Mr. Kuroma is there. I see Jibril Sakodia too. And I see the staff of Nassit that have worked very hard. It's not easy. but let this 20-year celebration be a period to challenge yourself. To challenge yourself that you are a custodian of our pension money. Even myself, I'm paying pension there. And in this country, when a politician goes to retirement, it's not only what he hits you, it's the people you buy, what they back. So you can imagine that I pay close attention to what I'm going to get at the end of my term. But I want you to challenge yourself that you've done extremely well. You have kept the vision of President Ahmad Tijan Kabak of the famous SLPP party alive. Today the SLPP is coming 20 years back to thank you for that, but more importantly to challenge you to look into the future, to see in a very difficult and challenging environment we are living today, not only in Sierra Leone, across the world and in sub-Saharan Africa, where resources are very scarce and where the prices of even essential commodities are very unpredictable. To challenge yourself to make a smart investment, an investment that will keep this trust so that you can hand over this trust to generations unborn, so that they will continue to benefit from it. So I want to thank you very much, and I want to reiterate government commitment to support you, to support that vision, and we look forward to the review of the Act and how you are going to continue to modernize this institution that is so very close to our heart. Assalamu alaikum. I thank you very much.
Thank you so very much, Mr. VP. I will invite Kenneth, Mr. Peter Kenneth.
Minister of Labor and Social Security, in his recognition provided in the establishment of the scheme as Minister of Labor and Social Security in 2002. He's chairman of the first set of Board of Trustees. This award is given to Professor Joseph A.L. Kamara, recognition of his expertise, leadership, and professionalism provided as the chairman of the first board of is the first Sierra Leonean Director General. This award is given to Mr. Edmond Koroma in recognition of his dedicated service, expertise, and leadership provided at the first Sierra Leonean Director General of Nassit from 2005 to 2009. Is what we will call corporate recognition. Corporate recognition. This is from AIMS, African Institute of Management Science. This corporate recognition is awarded to the National Social Security and Insurance Trust at their 20th anniversary for having worked tirelessly in the provision of social security for employees, workers, and their dependents in Sierra Leone. Director, Group 5, Trading West Africa, Mahmouda Turabzun Selu. Thank you, Mr. Minister, sir. Recognition of his expertise and professionalism provided in the establishment of the scheme as permanent secretary in the Ministry of Labor and Social Security in 2002.
pioneer. This certificate is awarded to James Sanfa Kuruma in recognition of his expertise and professionalism provided in the establishment of the scheme as governor of the Bank of Sierra Leone in 2002. Also a corporate recognition from AIDS. Citation reads, this is awarded to Mr. Mohamed Fuad Dabo, Director General of the National Social Security and Insurance Trust, for championing and putting human resource capital at the center of development. Your institutional leadership in the work towards alleviating the status of employers, employees, and their dependents in this wonderful nation, Sierra Leone, desires national and international recognition. Wishing you a bright future as you celebrate your 20th anniversary. Thanks for being These are these. Now the citation reads, this Legion service as foundation staff of the trust. They are the first set of staff employed by the trust in 2002. I begin with Mr. Amadou Faye. Mr. by Emmanuel Tarawali. Madam Theodora Matri. Miss And finally, Madam Winifred Kamara.
To be loyal, to be dedicated, and to have passion for your executions. Thank you very much. We now invite Mr. Edwin Kamara to give the vote of thanks.
For giving us the opportunity to celebrate 20 years of dedicated and excellent service. Jude Jalop, for sparing us with his busy schedule to attend this program. It is a manifestation of his commitment and dedication of the government to the support of Nassit, the pride of Sierra Leone. Thank you very much, Honorable Vice President. On behalf of the Board of Trustees, management, and staff, I want to assure you that Nassit will not disappoint you. We will live up to the challenges you have placed. Mr. Chairman, I want to extend my sincere thanks to the foreign delegates from ISA and our sister social security institutions from sub-Saharan Africa, who have graced this auspicious occasion. Some of these delegates have shared their thoughts with us, and they will be sharing their experiences with us in the next couple of days on social protection issues. Mr. Chairman, please permit me to recognize them by names. We have Mr. Ahmed Bamba from ISA. We thank you for being here. We also recognize the Director General of SNIT, Mr. John Ofori Tekuran. Thank you very much. And of course, Dr. Francis Sapara Grant, the DG for the informal sector in Ghana. We want to thank you. I will remiss in my duty if I fail to thank our Honorable Minister of Labour and Social Security and the staff of the Ministry of Labour and Social Security for their supervision and direction. Thank you very much, sir. We at Nassit have benefited a lot from Honorable Alpha Usman Timbo's fatherly guidance and his expertise in social security. Many thanks also to our Board of Trustees for their support, hard work, fortitude in making us do what we are supposed to do. And thank you for pushing us to make Nassit the center of excellence. Let me also thank other dignitaries, including cabinet ministers, parliamentarians, diplomatic community, and our esteemed members, and of course the Fourth Estate, for attending this conference. Mr. Chairman, please permit me to appreciate our Director General. Can you please give him a round of applause? Our Director General, Mr. Mohamed Fuad Dabo, and his erudite management team and staff, particularly the 20th Anniversary Committee, who spent sleepless nights in making sure that this conference comes out successful. Let us give them a round of applause. Finally, I want to thank everybody who has contributed in diverse ways in making this occasion a success. And I would also want to join the other speakers to thank the pioneers of this scheme, because for their brilliant ideas, we are here today, 20 years to celebrate. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Housing applause from my staff. I wish they were here to see this. Congratulations this year. Members, 2 days to take stock, 2 days to proffer suggestions and solutions, because the next 2 days, I wish us all fruitful deliberations the next 2 days. Thank you very much.